Stephen A. Smith has just been a disappointment. I try not to criticize, especially black men or just black people in general. But Stephen A. Smith,
Why? Why do you not tend to criticize black people or or black men? Wait, what did you just say? Why? We have to. We have to criticize.
Stephen A. Smith
We
is
we have to criticize because it does the refining of our culture. We have to hold each other accountable because it strengthens and refines our people. So it's not about bringing somebody else down. It's not about this kicking money down. No, it's about holding people accountable because that's how we're going to get better. No shade. All right, but go ahead. Let's say.
been a disappointment. I try not to criticize, especially black men or just black people in general. But Stephen A. Smith goes off and he talks about shit that he has no idea about. He has talked shit about me, but no facts. He has no facts. He just gets on these like white boy, right wing podcasts or on his own show and just goes off about black people and things that for which he has no clue.
Yeah.
And he thinks because he's doing it like this, that people are going to listen to him. What's wrong with you? Shut up. I'm like, what am I watching? It's just shocking to me, this sort of cozying up to white people. And it's got to be for the money. If I became a black conservative, I would be rich, like a gazillionaire. Or if I just went on and started like bashing black people just to bash them. And it seems that's become his stock and trade, to make excuses for white people and to cozy up to people like Megyn Kelly. He's one of those black people who Stephen A. Smith has just been a disappointment. I try not people who white people think black people like, but we don't. And Stephen A. Smith does not represent us. Black people don't want to hear from him, networks. We don't like him.
If you're a black person willing to defend white supremacy or willing to make Republicans feel warm and fuzzy inside, you have a long-term check going your way, but it will expire. My question is, when it expires for him, are people going to let him back in?
People who white people think black people.
I saw the video on numerous occasions. And seeing what transpired from a lawful perspective, as it pertains to a law enforcement official, don't expect him to be prosecuted. He was completely justified. From a humanitarian perspective, however, why did you have to do that? If you could move out the way, that means you could have shot the tires. That means you could have got her a few feet away after you shot the tires. And if you were unsuccessful in doing that, you could have got her down the road. You didn't have to do that. She wasn't driving down the road coming at you 90 miles an hour. She was parked in the middle of the street. And rather than get out the car, she wrongfully tried to drive off. I saw the video on numerous occasions. And seeing what and wrongfully disregarded law enforcement official, which is exactly what ICE is. And as a result, lost her life because of it. At some point in time, you got to ask yourself, what damn country do you want to live in? At some point in time, you're going to have to ask ourselves that question. And I think the time is sooner than later. Because again, from a legal perspective, don't expect this ICE officer to be prosecuted. I'm telling you right now. She was in the car, Renee Nicole Good, 37 years of age, protesting, blocking off the streets. ICE wanted her to move. An officer got in front of the car. Another officer got to the side of the car, and then she tried to take off. And in their eyes, the Christy Gnomes of the world for the Department of Homeland Security, and other folks on the right are saying, yo, they consider it an act of domestic terrorism because he tried to run over an ICE officer. He's not going to be prosecuted. My point is, let's not focus on that for a second, okay? She was wrong to drive off. She should not have done that. Or she should have asked the officer, I'm pulling over. Could you move out the way, please? Instead of trying to disregard him totally to the point where you're going to take off and potentially hit him, and he moves out the way and draws his gun and shoots through the front windshield and took her out. But it wasn't necessary. You could have arrested her. You could have spared the woman's life. You didn't have to kill her. We've seen plenty of incidences throughout the United States of America, historically and frequently, and recently, where people who committed crimes or people whose behavior weren't indicative of law-abiding citizens who were simply obeying law enforcement officials, we've seen them walk away alive. He tried to run over an ICE officer. We've seen them walk away cuffed, but they walked away alive. So even though the law, from a literal perspective, might be on his side, the reality is that your humanity comes into question because you didn't have to kill her. She didn't have to die. But that's the country we're living in now. We're living in a country where some people, more often than not, are becoming lawless, and law enforcement officials are not just about enforcing the law while serving and protecting, but they're also taking lives. At least in this case, that was the case. I believe it was totally unnecessary. We've seen them walk away.
Well, that's what Stephen A. Smith thought about it. I already said my bit about it.